or 6.
Yeah, if it's, so if it's 6, you wanna have Evening. Welcome to our Tuesday, October 8th, 2024 Finance Committee meeting. It is 5:34 on a Tuesday night. Call to order beginning over here.
Megan Carlson.
Jack Fitteroff.
Becky Fless, administrators.
Pat Hopkins, superintendent.
Andrea Dish, business manager.
Jeff Ellis, Director of Transportation.
And Terry McGuire, who's in the back managing the technology.
There we go.
Thank you, Terry.
All righty. First on the agenda, discussion bus right and off.
Yeah, so why don't I get you started? So I was in a meeting with some of my colleagues recently, and they were talking about a webinar that was going to be hosted that unfortunately I couldn't attend, and it was about this company called Busright. And some of my colleagues were saying it was the best purchase that they had made in years, and that they had used it to kick off the start of the school year, and it had cut down on a number of transportation issues, that it was just phenomenal. Parents loved it, they loved it, etc. So I reached out to Jeff and asked Jeff if we could schedule a meeting with the company privately. We did that and spent a good amount of time with them, and we're really impressed with what they have to offer. So I've asked Jeff to come and kind of talk about one, what we currently have, Traversa, that we've had for years. What that provides, what it doesn't provide but could if we wanted to expand. And what it would look like for Busright, what that would mean for the transportation department, for parents, and then talk about the quotes that we received for both and what that would cost us to move forward. So Jeff, do you want to take it over?
So as it is right now, we use a system called Traverse. It's generated by Tyler Technologies. It's a paper-based system. We use the computers to actually load children on the bus, the whole deal. But at the end of the day, it's a paper-based system. We can share that with our drivers. Our drivers have to look at that system as they're driving down the road. That is the limit to where we have on that system. What we were looking for is something that would generate cost savings, efficiency within. So both Tyler Technologies and Busright offer a program where they will give you a tablet. That tablet is tied into the bus. We can load information into the computer, download it to the tablets. As the bus drivers use their buses, use the tablets, it gives them stop-by-stop directions. There's no second guessing, there's none of that. We can load into the fact that somebody's child is not going to be on today, or if that child is going to be on a bus, we can actually take that child and load them onto somebody else's tablet. So as the bus driver is going down the road, they may not know, but ultimately they have a stop for that child. Both systems, Tyler Technologies and Busright, do some things well. One of the things we've had with Tyler Technologies is customer service. When we've had issues, it's taken me days to get what would be, I consider, simple answers. And probably since the start of the school year, I've been on hold probably close to 20 hours. So that's not a good thing. Like I said, there are similar in the sense that as a parent, you'll be able to have an app. That app, you'll be able to track the bus. You'll be able to track where the bus is live, to where your stop is. So that is definitely a positive in the sense that we can share that with the parents, which would limit the calls that come into the bus station. My bus is 5 minutes late. I haven't seen the bus. Ultimately, the parent will be able to look on their app. They both forms of telephones will support both systems. So ultimately, they'd be able to watch that.
Right, so a parent will receive a notice that says your bus is 7 minutes away, that type of thing. Whereas right now, what is happening is that the buses are arriving at stops. Students aren't there. Some of the parents don't have transportation. So the buses end up giving a call saying my kid missed the bus, looping around. It's adding about, I think you said 10 to 15 minutes to each bus run, occasionally as a result of that. So if we actually have an app that sends to parents, and parents get busy, you've got however many students that you're trying to prepare for school, and you get busy, you lose track of time, and to get a text that says, your bus is going to be 7 minutes away, oh, come on, let's go, we've got to get out
That would
there.
be magical, let me just tell you.
So sorry, I didn't mean to
Sure.
interrupt, but I wanted to make that really, really clear as to what this could do.
And could parents, just like when you're tracking your children, can you see the bus going down the road?
Yep.
That's,
So-
and, yeah, there's so, I mean, even I could give you a million reasons why it's so cool.
Between the two companies, there, like I said, is a similar issue. What it presents to the parents and what it presents to us, I think, is peace of mind for parents. And for us, I believe in the long run. I have talked to a couple different people. They all agree with my statement that they have actually seen 15 to 20 minute savings on each route because you're not waiting for a parent. A parent's not wondering when you're gonna be there or what's going on. That whole deal, as far as that goes, is a win-win for all. And I think we're gonna eventually go into this, is that Tyler Technologies is an older system. Obviously, if we did with the tablets with them, there would be an upgrade that comes at a cost. Every indication is bus rate is a better fit for what we're looking at. I have, like I said, I contacted the Director of Transportation for Yarmouth School System. He is the president of the MAPT. He could not say enough about just this year, what it is presented them with savings, efficiency within their employees, older employees that were very apprehensive that now enjoy it and wouldn't want to have it any other way.
Yeah, and so we are down currently 4 drivers, just so you know. And so we are hiring a new driver, but we just received a resignation from another driver. So we're staying down 4 drivers. So as he talks about efficiencies and trying to save time on the bus route, I mean, we have some students that will ride like in East Pittston or parts of West Gardner, they're riding the bus for an hour. So if we can shave off some of that time, there is the potential, depending on how many students are riding the bus, that one, we can make the ride shorter for students, but also maybe we can combine some runs to help take some of the pressure off of the department since we have such a staffing shortage.
So right now, with the present system that we have, we're looking at combining runs. At this point, it's just looking. But to actually put that together, we've got collectively close to, I would say, close to 20 hours from administration, redirecting those kids to these new routes, where either system, if we had in place, Tyler or the bus ride, that probably would be 4 to 5 hours tops, because basically both systems offer a program of copying and pasting, and our new system is not that way. Everything is data entry from the get-go. So ultimately, if I move a student from a bus to a bus, I have to re-enter that student to make it work on going forward. So that's like I said, if we had an upgraded system, it would make a significant difference.
Can I just make 2 points? I thought that the system that we had now had an import ability from Power School that maybe we're not using. So I'm wondering if that could shave some of the time. But I just wanted to mention, you talked about Tyler, and because you made such a public statement about your customer service, what I will say is in the business office, we use Tyler for all our accounting and our payroll. My customer service has been second to none. They've gotten back to me on the weekends. I never have to wait. So I just want to go on record as saying that may be his experience. As far as business managers go, I refuse to move away from the Tyler product that we have now because it works so well for us. And I've been using it since 2006. So I just want people to know, if you're to go on record, that may be your experience, but it's not the experience that we have in the business office. So I just wanted to say that publicly.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
So I,
No, I was just gonna say, I wonder if that could be indicative of transportation systems having issues all over.
It's being complicated.
but if you look at, I gave you each a copy of their quotes. And if you look at one, you will see, if you look at Tyler, for instance, you will see how everything is broken down. So there is a cost for setup. There's a cost for training. I was just told that I think we're limited to 5 persons at a time in a meeting. And because we have fewer than 90 vehicles, we have to pay for travel expenses and hotel rooms, is my understanding. But as you go through, you'll see everything is broken down. The first year would run 45,000 plus, and then subsequent years, without taking into account that there might be additional training and things like that, which would increase this amount of $7,000. So the total cost over 3 years would be $59,000. Looking at bus ride, all the cost is included. So you pay per bus. So it's $1,400, period.
Oh,
That covered per bus. So that covers all of the onboarding, meaning all of the training, the setup on the buses, to install the equipment, that's all paid for with that. Any training, any support, it's all within that $1,400. So you're going to pay basically the same amount over the course of 3 years. It is more expensive. It's $67,000 versus the $59,000. But again, the $59,000 doesn't take into the fact that there may be other costs that we will need to incur. Plus, Jeff can speak to the fact that our mapping system, our current mapping system is out of date with Traversa. It needs to be updated.
Mhm.
The cost for that is like another $3,200 to $3,500 that we have to incur. That's not taken into consideration in this. Whereas with bus ride, they said it's all per, and I think it's kind of aligned with, it was Google, right?
Maps.
Google Maps. So as Google Maps update, our system will automatically update and there's no additional cost to it. Was that?
He indicated to
Correct.
us that every night it's updated against Google Maps. So ultimately, we would get an update as often as you see the little Google car ride around town here, we would get an updated map on that. The other thing about bus ride that I like is that when we purchase the tablets through Tyler Technologies, we own those tablets. Those tablets are ours to maintain. If they break, we have to pay for that. That is a minimum charge of $400 per tablet. Where bus ride is 5 tablets in the 3-year period. Anything that happens to them, they get replaced. If it's fixable, they fix it.
When the contract's done, do the tablets go back to them since we're not paying for them as opposed to Tyler, where we would own the tablets?
Probably. Probably. And they will refresh them. I think it was every 3 years. There's unlimited training for Jeff. There's 1 month from start to finish for this whole implementation process. And they have 1 hour training for drivers. It's $12 per student. Okay, that's really the way they're charging it. So we think, given the state of our transportation department, if there are ways that we can ease the load, we would really like to see us move forward with this sooner than later. They have given us an estimate to be able to implement this effective January, because you want a good break, right? And we want plenty of time to implement it. And so they've basically taken the proposal of 22.4 and cut it in half. It would be 11.2 to get through this year. This would be a new budgeted item, right? We don't have it in the budget, so understanding that if we do this, then we would be adding the 22.4, although we would be subtracting the 7,000 or whatever that we already pay for Traversa, right? We'd get rid of that. So this year, we're looking at a different piece of software that was around $15,000 as a way of helping improve our communication with our families. And that rollout was so disastrous that we went back to the company and got our money back. So we unexpectedly have $15,000 set aside that we had used some federal dollars for, that we could target and use that money to cover the $11,000 for this. But it does mean new dollars in next year's budget that you haven't, built yet. But we think in the long run, there could actually be a savings, and maybe there's enough savings that it would absorb the cost of this program. I can't promise you that, and certainly all the phone calls that they manage in the office, and we will sometimes manage on at 3:30. Where's my child's bus? I don't know. Have you tried the bus garage? Well, no one answered because he's driving, maybe Gabe's driving, and the administrative assistant is on the other line or on the radio speaking with the drivers, and that's why no one answered. So I think for parents, it would be a huge, huge benefit. So that's kind of what we're proposing.
It's
I
using
don't know what your thoughts
technology for
are.
good. And
Yeah,
it's using technology for good, allowing parents to have a greater control or a sense of control over
Right, I think
what's
it
happening.
definitely would add to the peace of mind.
Peace of mind,
Yeah.
correct.
That
Yep.
they would know where the bus was, if the bus was running late, it was early, it would indicate that.
Yep.
It sounds like an awesome idea, in my opinion. One of the founders was the superintendent of Boston Public Schools. Can you imagine trying to do transportation in Boston? I just feel like sounds like their leadership is, how long has this company been around? They sound awesome.
I
The
don't
future.
know. I don't know, but because
It is the
I think
future.
it was Yarmouth, Biddeford,
Oh.
and Brunswick. I think that implemented bus ride this year, and they were so thrilled with it.
Yeah.
And they thought the price was reasonable.
Yeah.
That I felt that it was worth looking into it. Yeah, they just raved about it. And I know that Sarah Sims, their school district has a different system that they use. But she's like, as a parent, we're trying to get our house ready. They have animals, and so we're trying to take care of that, get the kids ready. And she goes, I get this notification, and it's just like life-changing. It's
Wow.
awesome.
I bet.
So,
Well, then I think I would like to entertain a motion from the committee to take this to the full board.
I would second that.
You, who makes,
You make the motion. I'll make the motion.
thank you.
Yes.
Perfect. Questions,
That's
comments? All those.
Do we know anything about these rates? Do they typically stay standard with bus rate, or have you seen anything with jacking it or anything like that?
they committed to 3 years.
Okay.
So, right, that was a
Yep,
3-year
3-year
contract at that price. Beyond that, I don't know. I mean, I would suspect it might increase.
Would we possibly hurt our contract with Tyler if we go with us, right? And it's like, do we have some sort of bundle deal with our contracts with them or?
No, it's independent. The transportation unit is independent of the the accounting software, but thank you for asking
Yeah,
that.
good question.
It is a good question.
Right.
Okay, all those in favor? All righty, great. It's only 3 years of our life if it goes askew. And maybe by then there'll be something even exciting.
Better, so.
Anything that
Thanks.
looks like a no makes it like more sustainable
yeah.
for the transportation.
We'll take it to the board,
Yes.
in November. So we can let them know that it passed initial approval here. And hopefully they'll be willing to maybe start some work behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And I do have like some videos that I can always share with the board or.
Sure. Yeah, that
So
would
that
be
you
fine.
can see that they were provided to us from Busright, so you know that they're
Okay.
gonna be in support, but at least it can kind of give you a visual.
And we did receive a letter from the superintendent of Brunswick Schools. And like I said, I talked to Chris Story from Public Schools. And he said that he'd be willing to come here and talk on behalf of this, the effects that it's made in his district, so. If
Awesome.
that's something that would be nice to have with the board. I can contact him and set up a time.
Is that something that you want?
I don't know, what do you guys think?
It might be interesting to hear firsthand experience. It sounds really cool. I mean, so the more we know about it, I guess.
Whether have him here, or maybe if he would write something and have that
Yeah,
shared.
That would be fine.
Sure, that would be great.
Just,
Yeah.
we're just, my concern is that the board is limiting that meeting from 5 until
Right.
6:30 because they're going to go to the play at the high school that starts at 7. So we're really limited with how much time they have. So that's a little bit of my concern about an in-person. But maybe we could ask him if he'd be willing to kind of write up
Yeah.
any statistics, any information that he would like to share about the savings and the
Okay.
success.
I'll contact him.
Okay, that would be awesome.
Great.
Awesome.
Thank you,
Great.
Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff. You're welcome to stay, but don't feel you need to.
Okay.
Where else would you rather be?
Have a
Thank
good
you.
night.
Thanks for being here. All righty. Copier lease renewal.
So I'm here to ask that we consider updating our copier fleet. Our copier fleet currently consists of about 35 copiers in all of our buildings, obviously. The fleet consists of machines from our last buy and machines from our previous buy. So the recommendation that Transco and I discussed was a refresh of about 19 new copiers and taking the best of our current copiers and moving the old copiers out. As in the last time we did the copier purchase, I requested that the finance committee allow me to forego the bid process because of the success that we've had with Xerox products. Over the years, we've used other copiers and we are very heavy users of our copiers, and some of the other manufacturers or models have not worn as well as the Xerox copiers. So the last time that we went out to bid, it was a completely Xerox fleet, which is what we have now. Again, they're looking at replacing about 19 copiers. I'm looking at lease purchasing it over 5 years, which is what we currently do. The cost for the lease purchase is going to be about, for a 5-year lease purchase, we're talking about $41,000 a year. In addition to refreshing 19 copiers, we're in discussions with using a fax server and getting rid of some of our fax lines. Currently, we have fax lines in all of our schools. The 5-year cost of a fax service is about $6,900. that we would save about $3,000 on a fax kit savings. And I think we would still keep some of our fax lines, but not all of them. The annual line cost for one line is about $600 a year. And if we have 10 fax lines, that's about $6,000 a year. So over 5 years, that's about $30,000 in savings. I can't, Terry and I would need to discuss how many of those lines that we would need to keep because we use those lines for other purposes as well. But that is the ask tonight. And go ahead.
Will you please remind us, when was the last time we did this? How many years ago? And what is the amount currently in the budget for these purchases?
So the amount currently in the budget is 35,000. In this current year's budget, the last year that we went out, it was 2020. The problem that we're having right now is not the newest models in the school, but the previous buy to that, they are having difficulty getting parts. Those have been phased out, and they're struggling with keeping them going. So the idea is to move the new copiers to replace those, to take the best of the best, and to move in these 19 copiers.
When?
So it depends on the vote. So the thought is either over Thanksgiving break or over Christmas break. I know nobody wants to spend their Christmas break hooking up new copiers, but if not, then it would be another time when students are not in the buildings. The great news with this new copier fleet, it's the same interface as our current copiers, so there'll be no need for training with staff. The copiers will look the same. The great thing about our copiers, with the exception of the one color copier that we have upstairs in the superintendent's office, all of the copiers are black and white, and the interfaces it's the same model from building to building. So if you go from one building to another, you're able to use the copier. And you know what I will say is I get very few phone calls about our copiers being down. And most of the time when the copiers are down, it's because somebody managed to jam the copier and just walked off and left it jammed. I remember the days when we had other models when the copiers were always down and there were always issues. And I don't have this with Xerox. I have no allegiance to Xerox other than the fact that we are very heavy copier users and scanner users, and these are the copiers that have fared best in our system. Jerry, do you have any questions?
Or comments?
I think we really need to be careful about taking the fax lines out because those are the lines, the analog lines we use when the phones go down or the electricity goes out or whatever. So we just need to be really careful about that.
And we certainly wouldn't pull them all out, but I think there's some of them that we could reap savings. So.
Do we have phones that we can connect? Like I think about the superintendent's office, we've never connected a phone upstairs.
We have the little pink phones that they hook on the fax line. And that's what we use even at the bus garage.
I know we've used it at the bus garage.
Little pink phones.
Go in the elevator and make a
Yes,
call.
pink phones so that they wouldn't disappear.
Remember those slim lines?
Yeah, like a princess phone or whatever. Oh, come on.
I think we talked about it once before when we were down in transportation, we were
Yeah.
trying to get kids home.
Right.
And Terry went down with Stephanie and they plugged that in. And that was the only way that they were able to help manage the phones and communicate with families.
Well, for God's sake, don't take those lines out.
With our VoIP lines, currently, when the internet goes down, we lose most of our phone lines, so that's.
I have just a curiosity question. People fax anymore?
Believe it or not.
You can only fax, you have to fax medical records. You can't email them.
Student records, all of those things get faxed.
So is that I get that part. It's
Yeah.
just how does that work? Is it
Comes in on our photocopier.
but is
There's
it like a
fax, they
scan? Do you
fax in.
scan it?
Mhm.
So computer scan on that?
The great thing with this XM service that we use, I don't know if any of you ever deal with secure email, their system will also provide secure email. So sometimes if I have documents that I need to send to Anthem or to Maine PERS, I will go to a secure email site and we'll communicate that way.
Yeah.
This XM service, which is what they are proposing that we go to for our fax service, will provide us with that. So if there's secure things that we need to
Mhm.
share, that we have a secure email site like that as well. So
Okay. I
there's
was
an
thinking old school
added
fax.
benefit.
Yeah. Okay, what do you think, guys?
Oh, and I wanted to mention the rate on the quote that I got for the lease is 5.25, and it's a fixed rate. So it's a competitive rate.
More questions? What do you think?
I think we can move it to the general board for a vote. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Seems like, yeah, it's something that needs to get done. I mean, I've done a lot of copying and faxing and all that kind of stuff, and it is a pain to constantly be fixing jams and things like that, and especially as things get older, the jams get worse, so.
It's like a concussion. Once you get one, it's easier the next
And
time.
when teachers or administrators or staff, they have this much time in between, right,
right.
classes.
Right.
And it just really adds to frustration if they
Mhm.
can't get something copied that they need.
So would you consider that a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Okay, second, second, Megan. Further questions, comments? All those in favor? Perfect, great, thank you. Net energy billing report.
So every now and then, I show up at a finance committee and I just give you an update on the net energy billing report. So for those of you who may not remember, we are part of a consortium through Consolidated Energy Services, Competitive Energy Services, sorry, I call them CES, with a lot of the big players in the state, Bowdoin and Kobe and the University of Maine. And it's a huge consortium of businesses that CES got together. And the consortium basically funds some of these solar projects that you see. The district pays every month, and then in return, when these solar projects begin going online and generating energy, we get their savings, and we get it as credits to our electricity bills. So it's been a while. This has been going on for quite a while, and the rate of your rebate basically depends on the percentage of your participation in the group. Ours is obviously small because we're dealing with a lot of big players, but I'm happy to report that for the past quarter, we had savings in the amount of $9,000, which I thought was,
Wow.
so it's enough worth mentioning. So I just wanted to share that with you. Questions? Okay.
Audit update.
This is just going to be quick and painless. The first part of our audit took place over the summer. Hank came in actually twice, the first time for 2 days and then the second time for a week, and went through everything. I'm happy to announce for that part of it. Everything was A-OK. He mentioned to me that out of all of his clients, and I mentioned this in my board report, that we pay the least, because when he comes here, he has to do the least amount of work because our books are in such a great place. So I'm sharing that with you. I am still waiting for the second half of our audit. Hank has shared a lot of his information with the new audit firm. I'm waiting to hear from them to pull more. He'll want to see some invoices and they'll come and spend some time here. So I'm waiting for that to be completed. As a reminder, our annual audits are due to the state, to the Department of Education by the end of the year, and I'm in hopes that we meet that deadline. It was one of
Close
the-
last year.
Yeah, we were actually over. In my 30 years here, it's the first time we've ever had a late audit, and I want everyone to know that was not our fault. Our audit was done in August, the beginning of September. There is an issue with auditors in the state of Maine. Basically, nobody is going in to governmental auditing, and therefore the few that there are stretched thin. And if you are a bad client, they are dropping you, and I'm not sure what you're doing. If you're requiring services that require a lot of their time, they don't have time for you. So last year in January, I know Pat shared communication from the Department of Education. There must have been a list of 20 districts that were late in their audit for all the same reason, because everybody's behind the eight ball, everybody's servicing a lot of clients, and it's just not a good situation.
I would say it was much greater than 20. I think that there are only 19 firms in the state now that are providing auditing services, and there
Oh, man.
are over 240 school districts in the state. So this was actually a topic in a recent meeting that I attended with the Maine School Superintendent's Executive Committee. And there are school districts out there that they're going into year 2. And they still have not been able to finalize. Some of it's because they're municipalities and there are issues with, trying to get the municipal budget
Right.
audited as well as the school district. But just being over 2 months, not a big deal compared to what I'm hearing other school districts are going through. So it's a trend, and I would expect that it could only potentially get worse from here on out.
And another reason why it may be getting worse is like all of our other positions, there's been a huge turnover in business offices. Just people who don't have any experience in school finance or.
And school
taking
funding is
positions.
a much different animal.
Mhm. So anyway,
Okay,
that is that update.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Alrighty, so. We have reached the bottom of our agenda.
Yeah, we have reached the bottom and thought we would touch base about the finance committee and the meeting time. So last year we switched the meeting to the second Tuesday at 5:30. We have at least one board member who also serves on the curriculum committee and 2. And the committee meets at 3:30 to 4:30 and
Right.
thought, it's easier. The request was, it's easier to just do these kind of back to back and get them on with. So that's why it's on the Tuesday. I know that now there's another board member that you have a conflict with the
Gardner Main
Gardner
Street.
Main Street,
Yeah.
and that they meet at exactly the same time.
Yes.
So there's that. And then we had switched to 5:30 because of some of the board members' schedules, and just wanted to have a conversation, kind of a check-in, to see if we're at a place where we can move that kind of back to 5:00, or does that still need to be at 5:30? So that's the conversation. So I don't know what you all want to do.
5:00 is fine with me.
I had it put in my contract, so you set the date, I'll be here, set a meeting, I'll be here.
Awesome, thank you.
So 5:00 won't work for me.
5:00 won't work for you?
No, what would work perfectly for me is if it was the third Tuesday for both things, so that we could still do them on like Wednesday, the third Tuesday rather than the second Tuesday.
At 5?
Sure. Yeah, it's just the second Tuesday.
It doesn't work.
Gardner Main Street is at 5:30.
Yeah.
And they say it's 5:30 to 6:30, but that depends on.
The third Thursday is when we always met. That was totally fine with me, but you
Yeah.
all decided to change to accommodate.
Tuesday.
Third Tuesday, sorry. Third Tuesday, it was always a third Tuesday and that worked for us. I mean, you have those, February break, you have
Yeah.
April break, but we always shifted that around because it was usually budget season anyways, right? So it was fine, we could accommodate that. So it's up to you guys to decide. So again, we made the shift because of curriculum committee.
Could curriculum do the third Tuesday? Is that a
Dropout prevention is also on Tuesday, the third, is that third?
Is that,
I thought I had both today, and then I looked at my calendar and it's actually next week.
that you have dropout?
Mhm.
At what time?
3:15, I think.
To 4:15.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it would be just the 1 hour. So for you, it wouldn't matter whether it's curriculum first or
Right.
dropout prevention first, and then meet at 5.
Yeah.
So, and the other is Jeff, because Jeff's also on curriculum. So you guys decide. That's our request. I'm fine with either Tuesday, the second or the third Tuesday. It doesn't matter to us which night it is.
Except the next month, we have a problem with the second Tuesday.
Well, I don't have a problem. I won't be here and.
I won't be here either. I'll
Oh, you won't be here
in
either.
Arizona,
Right,
so.
neither of us will be here
On the
Yes.
second,
on the
Tuesday.
second, yeah.
so we could do it on the third Tuesday.
That one we could definitely do on the third. We could do at 5
We
o'clock.
could
if you
practice it and
guys-
see how we like it.
And see
Yeah,
how it
sure.
works, and
Test
then
it out.
decide after that meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, and that way Jeff can be included as well.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
Then we'll figure out the curriculum and the dropout prevention after that.
Is that, what's the date on that?
So the date will be November 19th at 5 o'clock rather than the 12th.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
And then we'll revisit whether it's. the
We'll
second.
revisit, so
Okay.
add this, include this on the agenda for the 19th.
That'd be great.
Okay,
Feels like I'm asking you to shift just for me. And I hope there's not a resentment
Honestly,
about
Becky,
that, but-
we haven't had any meetings on Tuesday. This is our first meeting on
Right.
Tuesday at 5:30. It was that way before, so it wouldn't be much of a transition.
it's a new year and every year we
Yeah.
kind of look at what works.
I got my agenda for Gardner Main Street and I went, wait a minute, this was never a problem before.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, thank you.
We
All right.
used to have to wait until 5 in the morning. Since the board meetings at 5, I wasn't making.
Right.
And yet, we love you anyway. Perfect. Okay,
Okay,
thanks, everybody.
that's what we have.
This was super long and painful.
Mm-hmm.
Go your way and sin now, or sin somewhere with bigger. However
Okay.
it goes.
So
Thank you.
are we adjourned?
I think we're adjourned.
And you don't have anything else?
I don't have anything else. Do you want me?
Awesome, thank you all.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.